Johnny Manziel. Yeah, Johnny Manziel was trending yesterday because Johnny Manziel was on the Nightcap Podcast. And the former Cleveland Brown quarterback had this to say about the Browns.
I sit here today and I go back and forth with, man, am I going to let Cleveland off the hook and just like let it go? Or am I going to sit here with hate and animosity in my heart for the rest of my life? And I finally sit here today and I'm like, I think I'm going to be pissed at them and hate them forever. So it is what it is, man. No love for the Browns. I'm rooting for 0-16 seasons every season.
Okay. They did draft you in the first round. Remember when he sent a message, draft me, sent that to the owner, draft me, I believe. They did. You just didn't live up to what you were supposed to. And you're blaming the Cleveland Browns for, okay, maybe organizationally, not very good. Is it mismanagement? I saw a quote that was attached to Johnny that was basically saying, hey, you should have done more research on how to, position me to succeed. If they did more research on you, they wouldn't have drafted you. But to blame the Cleveland Browns, I mean, this keeps you in the news, but it is time to move on. It is time to move on because you can blame the Browns for being the Browns, but you should have been able to take care of yourself, and you didn't. You famously did not. And, we've had former teammates on this show who have talked about how you didn't care. Joe Thomas talked about that. Hall of Famer, that you didn't put in the time, that being a celebrity was more important to you. You got to you're not taking accountability. You didn't take accountability then. You're not taking it now. Take accountability. Both sides made mistakes. Yeah, Paulie.
Do you think of a guy like Manziel was taken in round 4 and didn't get that big rookie deal? He may have worked harder to be a starter, to be a player in the NFL, followed the rules, or was it destined for disaster?
I don't know if he would have had a chip on his shoulder to try to prove everybody wrong, maybe. But if you go back to college, I mean, he got away with a lot on and off the field. And while we loved watching him, he gave us one of the greatest seasons in college football history. When you're rushing for, 1,500 yards, you're running for touchdowns, you're throwing for touchdowns, you're beating Alabama at Alabama. You got to put in the time at that position. And he didn't. He wanted to be a celebrity. And at that position, you can become a celebrity, but you got to become really good at what you do first. Because it doesn't go, in the inverse order there, reverse order. Hey, I'm a celebrity. Now I'm going to try to be a good quarterback. Be a good quarterback. Then it might evolve into something bigger. But that's unfortunate because move on, figure out what you're doing with your life, and apply. You just hate holding a grudge. And if you're still blaming others, I mean, this is gone. And I even said at the time that the football world moves on so quickly, and they'll move on so quickly from him. And he's not the only one, but he was the current one. And I said, it'll be over and, people move on. And then you'll be that curiosity of, man, he was really good when he was at A&M. But, in the pros, he wasn't good. Didn't put in the time. And you can't cheat people at that position. Of all the positions, you can't cheat them because it'll show. And it did. Yeah, Paulie.
He played 2 years in the league, Johnny Manziel. He had 6 starts his second year in the league. He was 2-4. And his quarterback rating was 79.4. He threw for 7 touchdowns and 5 picks. Not horrendous. He was the 31st ranked quarterback in quarterback rating that year. Below him, worse than him, was Colin Kaepernick, Andrew Luck, Nick Foles, and Peyton Manning. They all, in limited duty, because they all played less than 15 games, had worse quarterback ratings that year. You'd win a bet on that one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think we wanted that excitement, hope for that excitement, and he got to the league and he didn't put in the time. But to sit there and continue to blame the Browns, Good luck with that. What's that going to get you in life? Yeah, the Browns. Yeah, the Browns. Yes, Eaton.
To be fair, the Browns have just a littered history of running through players that they drafted very well. So he's not wrong in saying that the Browns are terrible.
But do you think if he had gone someplace else that somehow this would have had a better ending? Because
It's
I
definitely
don't.
possible.
Well, it is possible, but knowing his track record, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I mean, knowing their track record too, though.
He asked them to draft him. On draft night, he asked them to draft him.
Yeah.
So
That's not usually the way it works, though. Like, you don't just get to text somebody and be like, hey, draft me. And they're like, okay.
Oh, I know, but that'll tell you about both sides. He wanted to play for them, and they do not have a good front office or didn't have a good front office, and they drafted him. Yes,
Yeah, I mean, I think he wanted to get drafted. He wanted to play.
but this is Cleveland.
Yeah.
So why would you go to a place that is a terrible place to go and want to go to a place that's a terrible place to go and inept in developing quarterbacks? Unless he had no idea how bad it was. But still, he said, draft me. He didn't send that to anybody else. He sent a text that said, draft me.
Yeah, but like, did you ever go work somewhere and you really wanted to work there and then it ended up being a horrible place and you're like, wow, I had no idea on the outside that that's what this was like.
But I have to take ownership. He's not taking any ownership.
I think he is taking ownership. I think he's just saying he doesn't like them.
Yeah, but he's blaming them for who he is now or what he is now, instead of saying, we're both culpable, or I never should have gone there. Or, you know what? That mistake's on me because it's a terrible match for me. Like, if you say that, then people, I think, would look at it and go, yeah, you're probably right. He's just holding a grudge against Cleveland. You want them to lose every game, but you got to have accountability at some point, and I don't think he does.